So, a lot has happened since I've seen you last on here. And yes, I know that the last video I posted, I said I was going to sing and I didn't end up singing and I didn't fix it and I need to fix it. So, that's all wrapped up and taken care of before anybody else says, "Hey, do you realize you didn't sing after you said you were going to sing?" Yes, I knew that. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, for the big event in my life that had happened, Tuesday going into Wednesday, we had an event at the house where um, grandfather had uh, fallen and injured himself. And we spent most of the time on Wednesday. Thank goodness I was granted a vacation day that day. And we spent that day between the walk in clinic and then the hospital. And if you've seen my Facebook Live, I did talk a lot about that experience and about my feelings on that experience. And all I will say, because it upsets some of my family that if I talk too much about it on here, I will say this. If our little community can support $4 generals, why can't we be given the choice of what hospital to go to? Because if you go to a hospital and they say there's too many people in the lobby and not enough rooms, then that hospital is not adequate enough for the community it serves. And honestly, they should be ashamed of themselves. And furthermore, I would say that that hospital is not equipped to handle the business that it receives. Um, However, the situation got handled and a very long, lengthy process that should not have happened that way. And then after that, um, then they tell you to come back in 2 days, but his wrapping had fallen off his finger, so we had to go back to the walk-in clinic to have it rewrapped, or so we thought. Meanwhile, that next day also the animals went and got their nails done, and we got flea and heartworm treatment for January, so we are caught up until February. So I'm pretty proud on that. All three animals have their heartworm and flea medication. And we went back to the walk-in clinic. They put a wrap on, which came off maybe 15, 20 minutes later. Yeah, real productive. And then the next day, they wouldn't count that as the return visit, if you will. We had to make another appointment for that. So we came back for a return visit to be told, well, how do you feel? And it was more of a cognition, seeing what went on, seeing what he remembered, and they did a rubber mallet test, if you ask me, and the way it was done, because being the caregiving granddaughter, I got to attend this function, if you will, and it was more or less a joke. But um, got told that he has to come back and they have to remove the stitches, of course. But it was doing well, so that I guess that's good news, right? Um, so I'm grateful for the small things because this time of year we need to count our blessings, and I'm grateful for that. So much so on Friday I started doing our Christmas. Okay, Grandpa was complaining that there was too much Christmas in the house. I don't know if you ever heard of such a thing. So I greeted our Meals on Wheels person and gave them their Christmas. I had some Christmas bagged up for our neighbor fellows, and I give them their Christmas. Went and delivered the newspaper carrier Christmas, but got no response from that, not even an email or a thank you. So that was a little bit disheartening, to say the least. Um, then came back home, and that was pretty much the day. Then Saturday, that was a big day for us. PetSmart did photos with Santa, so all the animals went, which would have been Heathcliff, Sonic, and Peanut, to get their photos with Santa. And we had some family time, which was great. If you've seen my Facebook, it was great. Um, And Mackenzie had a little girl she was babysitting, so we got to take her through the lights, and it was so much fun. So much fun that Mackenzie actually took these videos of me explaining to the little girl, hey, look, there's Santa. And, oh, she'd say, Santa's waving. I'd say, well, you better wave back. You don't want to be on the naughty list. That was quite fun, and I enjoyed that grateful time. And picked up some pictures so that they could be given away on Sunday, if you will. But when we came back from all that excitement, we went ahead and gifted our neighbors with Christmas. And that was fun. And they enjoyed it. And just seeing the joy and the happiness on their face was totally awesome. And they gave us some amazing sugar cookies with some frosting, just saying. And we left for a short time today, and they brought over another candy treat, chocolate covered peanuts. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, good stuff, good stuff. And I didn't tell you, we took our vets 2 containers of chocolate covered pretzels. So everybody was remembered this year. I'm really proud of that. I then also on Saturday, I just, something in my heart said, do this now, because Grandpa's complaining too much again about too much Christmas in the house. So I usually gift our mail person 2 days of Christmas. And so I told her, I said, this is your December 23rd gift. Even though, it's not the 23rd, I said, something tells me to do this now. So I went ahead and gave her that gift. And then the gift for the Christmas Eve, plus I usually give a small gift for her 2 girls. I said, you'll get that at a later time. She said, oh, I'm just grateful for being remembered. I love it when they say, thank you for just remembering me. That's the greatest gift. And the joy radiates from the inside out. So that was just something I thought I would share. But anyway, back to the kids next door. They absolutely enjoyed what they got, and so did Mrs. Elizabeth, I should say. So I just know that everything was A-okay there. And then today was Sunday. And of course, it's Yellowstone Day, right? But besides that, we had another family meal today. And unfortunately, Cousin Penny didn't make it. And we send thoughts and prayers for her to get better. But we went up there, met with Cousin Robin, and I got to drop off some books. I looked for Dave Ramsey books. They didn't have any, so I apologize. One of our family members wanted me to look for Dave Ramsey books, but they didn't have any. But they were grateful for the book donation. Yes, this time they let me drop off 2 bags full of books, and I was grateful for that. I should have taken more because I need the bags for when the family members will be taking home their gifts coming up this Friday. But that's okay. Anyway, what are we doing for Christmas Eve dinner? I've been asked this a billion times. Well, I'm not cooking. My cats love to jump. They're only 7 months old and they love to jump. So there's no point in that. However, I have told them I am going to do what is called a s'mores pie. Now, how I'm going to do this, I don't know yet. But I kind of cheated tonight and got this graham cracker crust. And I'm going to take almond bark that you would normally use to make almond bark, melt it, probably in the microwave. And then going to put that inside the pie shell, right? Let that set up. Then put these big jet puff marshmallows over the top. I've got 2 graham cracker crusts. So over top of both of these, stick them in the oven for just a little bit. Just got to make sure the cats don't jump in there. And then serve those as our dessert. But as for the dinner, I think we first were leaning towards Cracker Barrel. But Kinsey works until I want to say 2 o'clock, so that was kind of out of the picture. And she wanted to do pizza, and I'm not a big pizza person. And I said, how about Jersey Mike's? Well, I called Jersey Mike's, and they said so far they're going to be open until 6 p.m. Keywords, so far. So stay tuned on that. If they decide to do otherwise, I will let you know. I am grateful for being able to use my vacation days and cash those in when my grandfather needed me the most. And for that, I say thank you. And I've got 8 more days to use up before the end of the year, or I would lose those days. Um, so I've keeping that in mind going forward. Hopefully, I can use those. I got injured myself last night. I was coming into the bedroom, my own bedroom, and Grandpa was wanting all the presents out of the front room. I don't know if maybe if it was just staring at them that was getting to him or depressing him, if you know what I mean. But he wanted them moved, so I had to move them. And in the process of moving them, I got a big old splinter in my first finger, and I had such trouble removing that splinter. It was just ridiculous. But I got it out early this morning, so it stayed in there overnight. Yes, I was in pain all night long. And I used a safety pin even a little bit last night trying to fish it out, but it still wouldn't come out of there. It worked itself out on its own this morning, so grateful for that as well. Um, it was kind of funny. After we got done with the meal today, we did little runs and odds and ends of shopping, of course, but it was grocery shopping. It wasn't like, Christmas shopping, grocery shopping, just straightening that out. And after we did the grocery shopping, I said, okay, here's what we got to do next, which ended up being um, coming home. Well, we went to the graveyard. That was a depressing moment, but it had to be done. We had got Grandma this little angel, and we kept saying we were going to take it out to the graveyard and put it on her grave, and that we did today. And I put some sunflowers out there. Mom had a beautiful like spray on the top of the grave, and even a wreath to put in front of the grave. And I just took some pictures and shared it with everybody on Facebook. Also, Uncle Otis, who never has new flowers, late Uncle Otis and late Aunt Lorna. So he was in the military as well in World War II. So I always try to make sure that the red, white, and blue flowers we save back, we put on his grave. And it was refreshing to do that, and it was nice to honor his time in service as well. Um, anyway, um, that was basically the day. And, oh, I forgot to tell you about yes, I'm spoiling my boys, but I'm going to tell you about my big find. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. There was a choo-choo train that Mackenzie got the boys the last time we got to go to Champaign. And it was like made out of cardboard, okay, and it's had 2 levels of catnip for them to scratch their little nails on. Well, it was wear and tearing itself down, and it collapsed, and we had to throw it away. But I moved one of the haunted houses from the harvest time that I got them out to the forefront, and I was at Aldi's tonight, Aldi's again, mind you, and I seen these scratching little houses for, I think it was $8 each. So I got them 2 little houses to scratch their little nails on. But we're going to wait till Christmas. I said we're not going to open up now. I kind of want to do all the wear and tear. We might set up one now and save one for the side until like the other one decides to collapse. And keep a little bit of Christmas all year long. Which I honestly think is what we need to do in every aspect of life, is have that giving spirit, have that joy that radiates from inside, that warmth that gives us that little bit of reassurance that we all need that this world is a better place. And I just think we need more of that in this world than anything else. And I pray for all of us. But Yellowstone tonight. Let's cover Yellowstone, because everybody's like, well, if you watched it, then cover it. I took 1 billion photos with my phone, so much so that the second time I watched it, because the first time I watched it with my mom and Mackenzie, the second time it was just me, because Grandpa had went to bed, and I just took 1 billion photos. And my iPhone said, hey, you don't have enough phone storage, so I had to go through and delete some of my precious photos, but I figured, hey, I got them on Facebook, I've got them on Instagram, I'm good, right? So I have them there. If I need to back them up or look them up, I can always go to those things. But I enjoyed it, but there were some parts I did not enjoy. There's too much Jimmy. He's over on another ranch now. So let's not even focus on so much him. The bunkhouse boys got cheated out of this episode, I felt. They didn't get in on the action at the diner at the end of the episode, for sure. But I really enjoyed that dinner with Beth, Rip, and little Carter. And that big old piece of chocolate cake that hit that piece of... I really wonder how the rest of the day went with Carter and even Beth and Rip. Because if he's going to have that much chocolate and not enough meat, I mean, hello, come on. You're supposed to be the parent figures. You got to be a little bit more active. And it was just really entertaining on that forefront. I liked also seeing how they were moving into the main house. But we didn't get to see Carter move into the main house, did we? Keep that in mind. Another thing that I was very critical on was, okay, so Monica's expecting and Tate's going through boyhood to manhood. Okay, we get that. I didn't like the way Casey and Monica, their handling of the young adult Tate, if you will. I think that there should have been more parentage on that part. I think that was loosey-goosey. For Tate to know that he's going to be a big brother, yippee, just leaves Avery out of the picture. Okay, we get that. This is kind of like she sealed the deal with that, right? Seal it with a kid. Other than that, that's all I have for you. I think I've covered everything under the Yellowstone sun, if you will. I watched a little bit of the 1883, especially since they force-fed it to us when you first watched Yellowstone tonight. But I was not a huge fan of the 1883. Maybe it's just because it's too far back. Maybe it's just because we know that would not be an actual thing. Now, we know that Yellowstone's not an actual thing either, right? These are just fictional characters. However, it just seemed a little bit far-fetched for my liking. We did get to see our neighbors again tonight. I don't know if I mentioned that. We had to go back over there because I forgot some things, and it was kind of worked out well because my mom and I both went over there, and it was cool because we got to see them and see them open that, and those were gifts that my mom had got, except for the one item that I forgot to give our neighbor, which she appreciated. And other than that, that's pretty much what's going on in life right now. I'm blessed with the time that I have with my family because that's the greatest gift that one can have. I apologize if I rant or rave, but that's me being caring and compassionate about those that matter most. And I think if anyone else was ever put in that position and they have to see someone that they love dearly go through losing so much blood and being dehydrated from that they are giving them an IV to stop the dehydration, yet they could have done what they needed to do to begin with, but yet they didn't. They dropped the ball. There were so many instances that I got to see a lot of lack of everything, honestly, in the medical facilities. And not that I'm, a medical personnel myself. It's just things could improve to be a lot better. And if you can make the world a better place by sharing your concerns, sharing what affects you and how it affects you, then you're making a difference. It's the ones that keep everything bottled up and their lips closed that doesn't make a difference. With that being said, that's all I'm going to share on this video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking in. And I will try my best here in a few minutes to do another video for you, okay? And if I don't get to say it again, Merry Christmas to one and all. And I hope the very best in the coming days as we finish out 2021 and as we begin a new book of 2022. I've been asked, how are you going to celebrate it? Well, I just told you, it's Christmas Eve, we're doing the family gig. Christmas Day, we're doing the family gig. We've got doctor visits out the yin-yang, it seems like, because of everything. But that's okay, Just got to figure things out and have a game plan going forward. Trying to think of something else I wanted to share with you, which right in this exact moment my mind's gone blank, of course. I haven't got to see my work mom, Deb, yet, so everybody's like going, are you going to finish out all these books in a short span of time? Um, it's going to be a challenge for me personally. I'll have to weigh the pros and the cons of each book that I wish to share with you, and I know that after Christmas, a lot of us don't want to hear, Christmas stuff after Christmas, right? I'm one of them, including Christmas music. So I probably won't be doing a lot of Christmas books after Christmas. That being said, that we will probably have, I told Deb I'm dropping books off Wednesday. So if I can drop the books off on Wednesday and get some of these books done before then, I'm going to try to jam pack a whole bunch of that information in before she gets these books. That way we cover them and nobody will say, hey, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. There's a lot of people that do that, believe it or not. Anyway, that's all I have for you right now. Christmas movies. I enjoy the DVDs a lot more than the actual movies, except for 5 more minutes. I did watch the 9 Kittens of Christmas the other night and Toying with Christmas lately over on Lifetime. I have not watched a whole lot of other Christmas movies. I know that's been a question in the inbox. But here's something I do want to say before I sign off on this video. This just hit me. I ordered from a website called CarolLeeCooper.com. She was a Grand Ole Opry background singer. And she was selling on this website a DVD called A Christmas Carol DVD by Carol Lee Cooper. And it had all the older singers in it, such as late Jim Ed Brown, late Little Jimmy Dickens, but especially Whisper and Bill Anderson. So I had ordered this back in November 18th to be exact. And got no response, got no DVD, got no money back, nothing. I have wrote this customer support. I have wrote to her. I have posted it on Facebook. I don't know what else to do. I have asked even Whisper and Bill Anderson's secretary, Judy, if she had any information. She thought that I got scammed and should go to PayPal and ask for my money back. If anybody can help get that DVD for my grandfather for Christmas, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're in the sound of my voice, my address and everything, it was given to that Carol Lee Productions, if you will, to send the DVD, A Christmas Carol. So please send that DVD here. And I've said the address on here a million times, so I'm not going to do it again. But anyway, I love you all. Stay tuned. Another video will be coming up.